Bankston.
Micah Jordan.
Randy Jordan.
Kathy Bankston.
Anita Jordan.
Benny Bankston.
Hello, I'm Hannah Jordan, and an important thing about me is that for the last 18 years of my life, I've lived in another country because my parents work in the Philippines. Living in another country, a big part of it is traveling, and I've been traveling for as long as I can remember. I got my first passport when I was 6 weeks old, and I've been on more than 40 flights in my life. But traveling's not always easy, and there was one instance in particular that traveling was not fun. It was a typical day like any other, but it was one that changed my life. I was flying with some friends from China back home, for me the Philippines and for them Indonesia. We were flying to Malaysia and then on to our respective places. So our flight from China to Malaysia was pretty smooth, everything was going okay. We got into the Malaysia airport, we were just going through and getting to our gates and all that stuff. And when we got to our gates, which were right next to each other, we realized my flight, which was supposed to be an hour before my friend's flight, was gone and their flight was boarding, and I didn't know what to do. And all of a sudden I found myself by myself with no flight because I'd missed my flight, no money, no way to contact my parents, and no way home. And I didn't know what to do, and I started to panic and started to cry, and just this fear came over me, not knowing what I was going to do. But then one of the airport employees who came up to me and he kind of calmed me down and told me he was going to help me, and he walked me to the office where I could call my parents to try and get another flight because the airline wouldn't pay for the flight that I missed. So he really calmed me down and gave me some money for breakfast and just told me everything was going to work out. So I was able to call my parents and get another flight and eventually get home. And obviously this wasn't a very good experience, but you might be wondering why I talk about how it changed my life. Because it changed my life because it taught me a really important lesson. Because it reminded me of that man who dropped everything else and he helped me. He gave me money, he walked me to that office to try and get me to calm down, and he was my friend. And because of that, since then, I've really strived to be that kind of person for others, really trying to help them in any way I can and just encourage them and just do my part to serve them like he did to me and just really change their lives like he changed mine.